welcome back to this week's episode. My name is Soph and you're watching this for the first time, and I am currently in Malaysia, particularly in the city of Malacca. So right behind me, I am at the Jonker Walk. It's kind of nice being back in Malaysia, particularly Malacca, because I usually come here for holidays with friends and been here a couple of times, but this is the first time I'm actually traveling on my own. So I'm a bit, actually I think I'm a bit nervous, but I think I'll be okay after, having traveling on my own most of the time. I'm here in Malacca basically for a reason, and it's not particularly to do with tourism, but particularly to investigate on a ethnic group that I've done some research on, and I've been wanting to come here for quite a while, especially with my move to Lisbon. I thought this would be the perfect time to visit this city and do some investigation. One of the things I've always been curious is about researching a little bit about the Portuguese Empire and the Portuguese colonies. So when we talk about the Portuguese colonies, they're always referring to the African colonies and Brazil and Macau, but there's not much written about Malacca. One of the reasons why I'm here is that the Portuguese Empire has definitely left a mark in this part of the world. They came here in 1511 until 1641, and around that, and while they were there, they created this Portuguese Eurasian community. So when the Portuguese came in this part of the world in 1511, the king encouraged the Portuguese sailors to intermarry with the locals, and that's the reason why, because the women are not allowed to come to this part of the world, because it's quite a treacherous journey, and it is. So the men came here, and then they were given incentives and subsidies to be able to allow to settle with local women, and many did, and therefore it created a whole Portuguese Creole culture, which they call themselves as Cristang, Portuguese Cristang. So I'm doing my investigation on the Portuguese Cristang community, and that's a designated area where they live. It's called the Portuguese Settlement, and it's been given to them since 1988. And I'm here in Malacca, wanting to investigate the place and what it is like, and also talk to some people. So come and join me as I head to the Portuguese Settlement. See you in a bit.
The Portuguese settlement Malacca, or also known as the Kampung Portugis, is located a few kilometers outside Malacca city in the area that's also known as Ujung Pasir. The settlement is home to a small community of around 1,000 people descended from the early Portuguese settlers. This area was established around the 1930s and was originally called St. John's Village. It became a bastion for those with Portuguese ancestry to preserve their religion, language, culture, and traditions. The swampy land was cleared and 10 wooden houses with earth floors and atap roofs were built. Soon enough, it attracted additional Kristang from other areas of Malacca and grew to become one of Malacca's main tourist attractions, improving the standard of living of its villagers. At its heart is the Portuguese Square, or also known as Malaysian Portuguese, which comprises a courtyard with a number of seafood restaurants, a couple of bars, and a small museum. The place is fairly quiet during the day, but the restaurants get busier in the evenings, and during weekends, some culture shows are staged. On the 29th of June every year, the Portuguese Eurasians celebrate the Feast of San Pedro, and they celebrate in the square with dance, music, and banquets. Christmas is the other main occasion where residents decorate their houses with colored lights, Christmas tree, and nativity displays. Food is a top attraction here for most visitors. Typical dishes include the Portuguese famous debal curry, ikan bakar, or also known as grilled fish, prawn curries, and other seafood dishes. When I was in the settlement, I managed to speak to a few locals and ask them a few questions regarding their food, their culture, and also their settlement. However, they all declined to be interviewed on camera.
Hey, so I'm back here in Singapore and standing out again outside the Eurasian Community House. I'm ending off this video by giving some of my takeaways of what I learned so far in this trip. So the first takeaway I have is that the Eurasians themselves, they have carved out a unique and interesting culture, which is different from the Chinese and the Malays and also the Peranakans. So the Eurasians have something unique as an identity, especially through all the years what they have gone through. I think that's something to admire. They are a very resilient community and they have a lot going for and a lot to give to society. My second takeaway is I've learned that the Portuguese Eurasians in Malacca are different from the Portuguese Eurasians in Singapore. Difference in the sense that because those Eurasians that came over to Singapore to work, they have a different advantage in the sense that they are Western educated, they have a good desk job, they work in the civil service, and therefore they are economically better off. So my third takeaway is that the Portuguese Eurasian food in Malacca is quite different from the ones in Singapore. From my own experience, I find that their food is quite similar to the Malays and the Peranakans, and except the approach is quite different. So this is how I understood as the term same but different. Same kind of food, similar kind of food but different approach. And one of the things I realized is that in Malacca, coconut milk is actually quite expensive. So what they do in terms to make their curries creamier is adding candle nuts and carnation milk. So that's one of the unique things I find in terms of the Portuguese Eurasian cuisine in Malacca. My next takeaway will be that although they claim they are Portuguese Eurasians, but they don't have or have very little connections with families in Portugal. And also for many of them, they have not been to Portugal. Yes, they do have roots with the Portuguese, but throughout the centuries they have intermarried with other cultures and other Eurasians. Therefore, they created this unique identity, which is very different. In a sense, that's quite interesting with the connection and at the same time the disconnection with Portugal. The next takeaway would be they've developed a interesting language, which they call it Kristang language. It's a mixture of, basically it's a Creole Portuguese language with a mixture of Portuguese words and Malay language structure. So that's interesting in a sense because unlike the Portuguese language where they have the masculine and feminine aspects, in Kristang there's no masculine and feminine. In a sense that the connection with the Malay language is pretty strong. For my last takeaway, the Portuguese Eurasians in Malacca don't like to be known as Portuguese Eurasians. They prefer to be known as Malaccan
or Malaysian Portuguese. That's how they identify themselves, whereas over here they like to be known as Eurasians. So I've come to the end of my vlog for this week. I hope you enjoyed this week's vlog. I had a great time being back in Singapore, and also had a great time traveling to Malacca. I have learned a lot about this trip, and I hope to bring that story over to Portugal. And I hope you do like it at the same time too. And if you do, I would really appreciate if you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button and the bell for further notification. So here's me saying goodbye from With the Story, and I'll see you in the next episode. Ciao ciao, goodbye.